Okay, there is so much truth to these comic books. The Authority Revolution and Bloodfire. The Authority Revolution is a Wildstorm Universe comic, and Bloodfire is Lightning Comics. Okay, in the beginning of this comic, there's an explosion. It says, the devastation here in what was once our great nation's capital. Washington, the District of Columbia, words cannot express the death toll is currently at 11,412, but those are just preliminary figures. And there's a group, says, in the wake of the disastrous battle between the Authority, who last year seized control of the higher branches of our government. So it's saying there's this group and they seized the higher branches of the government. Doesn't that sound a lot like the deep state? And the Authority are these superheroes. And a group calling themselves Paul Revere and the Sons of Liberty, who had been leading a popular rebellion attempting to reclaim America for its citizens. And this man right here, his name is Fallout. And these superheroes fight against him. But this is really the good guy. And it says, should point out to you that we're only able to broadcast live from Ground Zero because Authority member, the Doctor, used his powers to change the residual radiation into oxygen. And this man's talking about how they blew up the heart of our nation's capital. And this man, his name is Fallout. It says, once again, here's the footage of the explosion. You can see it begins with the man known as Fallout, a member of the group, the Sons of Liberty, who was apparently damaged to the point of becoming unstable in his battle with the Authority yesterday morning on the White House lawn. And I'm gonna skip some. And here they're sitting at a rounded table, and all these people are superheroes. And they're having a meeting. And here it's talking about the superheroes are talking. They said, first we became pop icons. Okay, so using idols, pretty much pop icons like idols, only to have the ruling class of the world try to kill us and nearly succeed. Then, after the Doctor's unfortunate idea to make himself the new Messiah, you decide we should stage a coup of the elected government of the world's largest superpower. So there's this Doctor, and he claims himself as a Messiah, and these superheroes stage a coup and take over they take over the government of the United States. And it says, and what have we got now? A populace that went from looking at us as examples, as heroes, to thinking of us as dictators or even possibly war criminals. And the end is the craziest part. But this is like, there's these superheroes with powers, you know, and they're saying, we were trying to bring you true freedom. We wanted to fix this democracy, to wipe out the scum that brings it down. Now, though, I have to admit, progress forced at the end of a gun may not be perceived as change for the better at all. I am afraid you have to fix your government on your own, or you won't accept it. So, the best thing was for them not to intervene at all. It was for us to learn that we had to do this on our own, or we would never learn, you know. And the end is the craziest part, because there's all these guys in black suits, and they're talking about the authority has disbanded. My sources say the same, but I'm gonna wait and see with those pricks. You know, but he's saying, this is crazy. He says, let's not delude ourselves that they're anything like us. They think they're gods or something. Remember, it says, if I could make a building fall by wishing it, I might feel the same way. We've made plenty of buildings fall, Tom. Only difference is no one ever knew it was us doing it. He's talking about going back to the business of running this country. Yes, I do. So they're talking about making buildings fall and no one knew that they was doing it. Okay, what does that sound like? Which is why I'm here. And there's this man in black, a black robe that comes out of nowhere. And they say, who are you? And he says, allow me to introduce myself, gentlemen. My name is Harry Bendix, and I will be making the big decisions from this point on. Is this what they call the men in black? Yeah. Okay, now moving on to Bloodfire. This demon, or this man, his name is Overthrow. And his enemy is Brian Reese. Brian Reese his name is Bloodfire. And it says, this is truly an unexpected delight, Stormini. Bringing Bloodfire's son to me was brilliant. I've always wanted a son. And down here it says Demon Seed. And it says, and they kidnapped Bloodfire's son. It says, the abduction of Bloodfire's son is perfect. It will be essential in setting the stage for the next confrontation with him. The next time we meet won't be so easy on Bloodfire. And, okay. And he talks about, I have other plans for you. When Bloodfire learns on his son's abduction, he'll be out for blood. I see using you as bait to bring him to his ultimate death trap. I will raise Bloodfire's son as my own. I will teach him to fight and hate. Like me, he will be a master of black magic. He will surely become my most feared warrior. Darkens I summon you. And there's these black spirits, spirits. And they do their magic on this baby. And this man, his name is Clairvoyance, and he saves the president or something. And this is Brian Reese, Bloodfire. And this is when Bloodfire learns about the abduction of his son. And it says Stormin took him. And Jenny is his wife, I guess. And he gets really mad. And then it talks about, it says, overthrows shadow demons. The Darkins begin their seductive process of brainwashing young Reese. You know, like just like they brainwash us from a young age. You know, it's talking about demons or evil spirits brainwashing young kids. And it says, my Darkins will transform him into fearless evil. He will kill because it pleases him. Soon he will no longer be a child. And it says, never before have we performed our magic on one so young. The child will love, hate, and enjoy death, the death of those he's programmed to destroy. You know, like when you watch a show, it's called The Program. You know. Anyways, by the time his transformation is complete, even Overthrow will recognize the awesome power of his creation. Young Reese will feast on blood. Artificial memories. So it's talking about inserting artificial memories will penetrate his mind, the only hope he may have. And then it says it's God's forgiveness for the sins he's going to commit. And moving on, this is his wife, but there is this woman right here, and her name, hold on, I forgot her name. Well, she's a shapeshifter, and she shapeshifts into the Doctor, and the Doctor calls him weird and the real Doctor calls him weird and walks away because she shapeshifts into the nurse. And she says, I wonder if I can fool Dr. Thorpe. And she sneaks into his office and she reads his files. And it says, hey, this is a file on Reese, Brian Reese, Bloodfire. And it says, top secret, journal entry 41492. It worked, just as I suspected. After intentionally injecting Reese with my mutated strain of the HIV virus and the IE formula, his recovery was phenomenal. This is certain to impress SCAN. And it says, oh my gosh, Dr. Thorpe used Brian as a guinea pig. I've got to tell him. And this is more on turning Reese's son into a killing machine, pretty much. And skipping towards the end, she says, she's talking to Reese and she says, I read about the experimental treatment given to you by Dr. Thorpe. I think I've got some news you'll be interested in hearing. This is the last thing I need. We can't talk here. Follow me. And she says, Brian, I know you're HIV positive. And he says, what are you talking about? she says, "Yes, you do. You were pretty torn up after your botched rescue mission with Stormin. I read all about your treatment in some of Dr. Thorpe's confidential notes. How did Thorpe say you became infected with the virus?" "He was working on a formula to change men into super soldiers, but when he tested the drug on lab animals, they died. Their immune systems would not accept the drug." So it's talking about using HIV, which is a retrovirus, to destroy people's immunity so that their body can accept a formula. Or a serum. Dr. Thorpe reasoned that if he could suppress an animal's immune system, the formula might be accepted. And so Reese finds out. He says, "So what you're saying is Thorpe infected them with the HIV virus," talking about them, so infecting soldiers with an HIV virus to overpower their immune system. Yeah, and there's more. So creating super soldiers. After infecting them with a mutated strain of the HIV virus, the animals became ill. Just like you did, Thorpe, they infected the test animals with his IE formula. Brian, they not only recovered, but gained incredible strength and endurance. So there you go. And towards the end, he finds the HIV bottle and tries to inject the doctor with it.